This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Oh yeah!
It should have been an easy win, but you know I play a little Sxii, and it cost me.
Hi, and welcome to DD Live. I'm your host, Angel Camacho, and here with my esteemed colleague, QB1 and captain of the High Flying Falcons, four-time winner, MVP winner, star winner, Jose Perra Guerra. Talk to me.
Shit, all right, hold on. Let me button up. I didn't know it was gonna be all that. Give me a
Talk to me.
second.
I'm coming in hot, man. I'm coming in
Give me a
hot,
second.
man.
I mean, you
Coming
should have
in.
told me I would have gotten a haircut for this episode.
Man, you
Damn.
look at Spiffy, Papi. Talk to me. Talk to me. Week 4 in the books. A lot of status quo. Tronky, they call him the cry baby, but I just think he makes other people cry. It's back-to-back 3-0. The La Boo Boo. I don't know if he did a boo boo there.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Bengals, Golden Boy, the curse of the
Took a dip.
the DD Live
Took a dip.
kiss.
yeah,
Like we talk
took a
good
dip.
about the Niners and Jordan, they take a dip. We talk, bring Nico on, boom, takes a dip. Bring Peppers on, Eagles take a dip. Is the curse of the DD Live? What's going on, man?
Are we being compared to the Madden curse at this point?
I don't know. Is that when you become great, boom, things happen?
Man, I mean, I really think it was just I never want to downplay a DD week because we all know DD weeks are held
Hey.
in a different regard.
If you were asking Vinny, a monsoon was happening. A monsoon was happening, and we had to put a pause on the week. I know, Andres. Every minute of that Saturday did not rain. I know that, like, he was happy.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that was the third straight week that we were expecting a torrential downpour, and it honestly couldn't have been better weather. It was absolutely beautiful. But as far as on the outlook of week 4, I don't want to say status quo, but pretty much status quo, man. It's pretty much exactly what we predicted. There was no change in the top 12. Yes, the order changed a little bit here and there. We had a few teams kind of take a little bit of a dip. I wouldn't necessarily say, other than maybe the Texans, who obviously came out and went 3-0 again. I really wouldn't say any other team did something that we weren't expecting of them. Like I said, to me, it was more of a case of a few teams kind of taking a little bit of a dip, right? The Falcons took a little bit of a dip. The Bengals took a little bit of a dip. The Oilers took a little bit of a dip.
Jaguars
But
took a little bit of dip. Sounds like the crypto market.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, let's see. What did the Jaguars do again? Jaguars went 1-2. Yeah, 1-2, and they beat the Bucks 3-2. So again, you definitely throw them in one of those teams that took a dip. But I think, to me, at the end of the day, the more impressive part of it was just, again, the Tronky and the Texans, coming out, going 3-0 once again, and really putting a stamp on what's been a really good trade. I think it's kind of like how we had discussed. It's a trade that I think made a little bit more sense on the holistic approach of both teams. I think record-wise now is easy to say. Hindsight is obviously always 2020. It's easy to say, well, the Texans got better. They're 6-0 since the trade. Yeah, obviously I think they did, right? But I think it's just more of a fact of fitting the teams fit better now, right? I think Baca has a better receiving core, in my opinion, and a more suitable team for that skill set with that top 4. They're able to withstand a Nico and a Jeezy, where before you had Tronky and Nico, who was missing multiple weeks. It was a little bit harder on that team. They didn't really have an identity on defense. And from the looks of it, it looks like the Texans still don't really have much of an identity, winning a lot of the games 4-3. But ultimately, like any other game, at the end of the day, you got to score. If you score, you're going to be in every game, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Did Paulito make the wrong decision in going with Baca over Tronky?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's more of, again, just the team fit. I maybe would have liked to see if I could have maybe kept a JJ, or maybe seen if I would have maybe gotten an Arlen. Um, at the end of the day, two tier sixes, and specifically when they're both actual tier sixes. What I mean by that, when you have myself, when you have a Tronky, when you have really a Devin, even a Johan. Yes, a couple of us are a little bit more mobile than the others, but at the end of the day, we're tier sixes playing quarterback. We don't affect the game as much. Let me back up. We obviously affect the game. We're quarterbacks, but we don't affect the game as much. It's not like you have a horrible mismatch, right? Because now you're having the other tier sixes rush us. So now it's more of a matchup game at that point, right? As opposed to when you have me as a tier six playing receiver and you have a Nico Q as a tier six playing receiver. Now, whether you have quarterback or Peaky where you have back at quarterback or Peaky or even a David, yeah, they can move around, but they're gonna move around more than we can move around ultimately, right? So I think it's just a fact of fitting better across the board. I think the Oilers are going to be fine. I think they have a really good top four. I think on like if you put your captain's hat on Pablito's side, I think it's a very similar team as far as offense is going to win for them. It's not going to be the defense, because at the end of the day, Pablito's good and Carlos is good, but they're not really covering anyone out there as far as, hey, I'm going to shut them down. And somewhat could be said the same thing for Swazo. Swazo has the benefit that he has size, he has a little bit of length, so he can match up a little bit more with other players. But ultimately, you're gonna have that defense running with Nico and Jeezy, and they're just gonna have to score because they're not gonna be getting a lot of stops.
Packers went 3-0. Do they look good? Do they look good as they look good on paper? Like looking in on the outside in, 3-0. There was a lot of talk that there might have been a Dalek Serpena trade there happening. So there was a lot of movement there in Packers camp. They stayed tight. Pena's been solid aces.
Peña's doing Peña things, bro. He's playing sensational on defense. We were actually laughing. We were watching one of their games. I forgot who they were playing. It was ourselves and the Giants, and we were just laughing, talking smack. And all of a sudden,
He's
Peña,
he's on the verge of breaking the INT record.
we no, I think the INT record was like 12 or 13
Is
by
it 12,
Randolph.
13? Oh,
Uh,
don't, hey, someone better not tell that to Pena. Pena thinks he's a couple away.
it's a quick couple clicks away. INTs. Well, we got Adrian. No, in 5 man, yeah, it's Adrian with 10. Randolph has 11, but it was 4 man. So yeah, Adrian, he's 2 picks away. You know, I think that team is definitely one of the better teams. I think when they're full, if I had to say someone that's the team to beat, I would say is the Packers.
Which we're gonna get them now in week 5.
Yeah,
You
which
get the full picture. You get the full picture right
no,
in time, right before playoffs.
they're missing Jonathan. They're missing Jonathan
Oh,
week
for week
five.
5, they were missing him for week 5. I
Yeah.
thought they had the full team week 5, and week 4 was gonna be the week that.
No, they had the full team week 4. Week 5 they're missing Jonathan. So, I'm sure there's gonna be a few teams that I don't want to say maybe take it lightly or maybe beat them and think more of themselves than what they really are, because at the end of the day, Jonathan is not a tier 6. I would probably go as far as saying he's probably not even a tier 5, especially with a quarterback like Beaky that can move around and make plays. That team is really good. And I have high expectations for that team. I definitely expect them to make it to at least a semifinal. But at the end of the day, DD is DD, and it's all matchup based. They run into a buzzsaw, they run into a team that matches up slightly better on whatever tier that is, and if they have someone that can exploit him, then that's what they'll do. But I have really high expectations for that team. But we'll see. I fully expect them to keep a bye. I mean, they've gone 6-0, I think, this past 2 weeks, or 5-1. So I definitely expect them to go realistically no less than 2-2. And even then, I think that's a stretch.
And that might just even secure them. 2-2 might even just secure them second place.
Yeah,
Vikings and Texans would have to go 3-1 to surpass them. And Vikings are there with the PD, but the Texans would have to do a lot of damage on the PD to even catch up to the Packers. So Packers 2-2, pretty safe to even lock up that second. And even looking just at the big picture, Chargers, Packers, Vikings would take a monumental meltdown to fall out of those protected 4 seed buys. Texans are
Yeah,
the ones that are there. Texans are the
I,
ones that are there that I feel that that because points wise and PD wise, if it came down to the wire, that would be a team that could be trumped by a Texans. I mean, could be trumped by a Falcons and by a Steelers team.
yeah. I mean, I would say honestly, if you had me, if I was a betting man, I would say the Chargers, and I would say the Chargers are probably, in my opinion, the only untouchable team. Because I think they have really good matchups this week, and I would expect them same thing. I don't expect anything less than 2-2, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go 3-1 or 4-0.
They're
That's
playing the Ravens and Giants, and everything screams that those are gimmies for them, the way that they're playing.
you
And then
see,
they got to play the Bengals and then they got to play the Bengals and Falcons.
I would actually argue against it. I would probably say matchup wise, I like them better against the Bengals than I like them against the Giants. You
Okay.
know, but I
Lex
think
and Maya and Chris D think you're going to
I,
give them more fits.
and then I think Gerson at the back end
Okay.
is gonna give him fits. So I think matchup wise, I think they match up better against so a team like the Bengals and a team a little bit more like the Falcons. Although I think at the top, the Falcons have a little bit more at the top than the Bengals do.
As were
But
the Packers, they do have a tougher schedule for the final week. They're playing the playing it easy, giving it all up Bucks, but then they got the Falcons, they got the Jaguars, which have been a little bit of an enigma. They've been on the top end in the beginning, they've been regressing in the back end, and then they got the Oilers.
yeah,
So
but the Bucks are not fully out of it.
yeah, no, I'm saying
Um,
that's why the Packers they got a pretty that could very easily be a 2-2. I don't foresee the Packers going 1-3 with that schedule. But anything above a 2-2 just adds on to the resume for Peaky this season, which we'll get to MVP talk.
yep, 100%.
Very legitimate MVP talk there in Packers camp. Now, of the rest of the teams, on the top end, what do we make of the Bengals and the Niners struggles? Bengals go 1-2, Niners start off hot, and then they've just been mediocre. Yes, they've had some missing pieces throughout the season. Do you think that this is the kind of team that has, I feel, the veteran leadership to be able to pull it on the final week and put a strong finish?
Man, just so I would say this. I think obviously at the end of the day, ultimately, those two teams are led by two exceptional players and exceptional leaders. In my opinion, with Nico and Jordan, I would say maybe the 49ers have a little bit more in the way of Jerry also, as far as like really more of like a leader. Not taking a shot at anybody else in the Bengals, but I just think they have a little bit more
The
when it
Niners,
comes
man,
to
they play the Texans, they play the Jaguars, the Falcons, and then they
and
get
the
the Panthers.
revamped. Yeah, but the revamped
Yeah.
Panthers. And then the thing that scares me about the Niners, bro, is the fact that, for example, you look at the Patriots game, they tied 3-3. They beat the Steelers 2-1 in an ugly game, right? So it's like the Steelers is a good team, so but still 2-1 is like it's a little tough. You beat the Raiders 4-2 and you beat the Ravens 4-1. The Ravens at this point, unfortunately, it's the team that
Just disarray.
we're not talking about, but it's not even we're not talking about them for all the right reasons. There's absolutely nothing to talk about that team, unfortunately, right? Whether it be players that are getting hurt, people dropping, whatever the scenario, right? Ultimately, I just think I don't think that AJ is getting away with it. I just think there's truly nothing to talk about, unfortunately, right? And it's what we've been saying. What a quick fall, right?
From
From
Grace.
from MVP maker to star winner, and now
Multiple season MVP maker, star winner
and
to
now potentially the first team in DD
from
history to not win a game.
from dead leg to dead.
And we're talking about some bad teams because I can take accountability for the Saints team that I drafted. That was a bad team, and we made multiple trades, and I want to say we at least won 2, 3 games. So
I went winless. I think I went with
with the
one win.
Dolphins,
I think I went one win and like two ties going into the final week of the season. And I got
you
like
beat
three
us.
wins. And I got like three wins. I went like 3-1 in the final. Like the final week, I was able to like redeem myself and get out of of the hole.
And
But
for example, people can say whatever they say. That last game, it was you versus me. We
Yeah,
were not trying to lose,
at all. At all.
you
Yeah, it
know.
was your
So
Saints team against my
yeah,
my Finns team, and we were
yeah.
duking it out there to finish.
I picked you off though.
Yeah, I won though, right?
um, but yeah, man. I mean, I just I don't know. At the end of the day, obviously, I'm gonna trust a better quarterback in Nico.
That's right. You screamed at me, stupid. Damn it, stupid. I was like, oh man, the goal line. All right, keep
But
going.
no, man. I don't think any of those teams are gonna fall out. Um, the Seahawks are right there. The Bucks are within range. I'm not gonna say they're right there. They're definitely within range. But taking a look at the Seahawks schedule,
They're 5 points behind the Giants. The Giants play the Bengals, the Oilers, the Chargers, the Vikings. So they could easily go 0 and 4.
we're
They
talking
could
about who? The
the
Giants.
Giants. They play the
Yeah,
Bengals,
yeah,
Oilers, Chargers, Vikings. Realistically, if they have an amazing week, they go 2 and 2.
yeah. No, I would say an amazing week for them is 3-1 because
Think
again,
so?
you look at. I think I'm basing
I
it
feel like all
off
those teams are better
matchups.
than the Giants, though.
Yeah, but for example, matchup wise, right? I'm gonna take a team with realistically no tier 6 over a Rodgers because Rodgers gonna have to play, right? I'm gonna take them. Uh, uh, I'm gonna take them definitely versus the Oilers. They have 2 tier 6s. The Oilers have 2 tier 6s, and I think they match up very well against a team where Pablito and Carlos and Suarez are gonna be your main receivers with Chris D, and Lex, and they still have Gerson that has the ability to rush. They have Jose G that has the ability to rush. So I can see them winning that game. I think a good game is going to be against the Chargers, and then I think same thing with the Vikings. I feel like the same thing we've been saying about the Vikings throughout the whole season is when is the team going to exploit that back end, or at least what we think is a weak part of their team
Oh, did
being the
he?
back end, right? So um we'll see, man. Yes, I definitely wouldn't put it past anybody because that's a tough schedule. They could potentially go 0-4, but I wouldn't
And
be
we've
surprised if
seen how the final week works out. You lose the first one, and hey, guys, we can't lose anymore. We have the last seat. You lose
yes,
the next one. Hey guys, listen, like, and then it's just
especially if you start scoreboard watching, asking
and
around,
hey,
and
and it just starts to pile on if you have to play some back to backs. And then look at the Bucks schedule. The Bucks have something in their favor. They gotta get over the Seahawks. They play the Seahawks. That's their final game. So that 115 game Bucks Seahawks could very well determine who gets into that last spot. They play the Patriots, another favorable matchup for the Bucks. They got two hard ones with the Packers and the Oilers. But a 2 and 2 puts Buccaneers 2 and 2 puts them at 19 points.
no,
Might not
again,
be
that's what
enough. Might not be
that
enough. It
might
would
not be enough.
it would take the Giants losing everything and the
0-4,
Seahawks
yeah,
doing some Seahawks things. But listen, kudos to the Seahawks because as much trash as everyone wants to put on Vinny, on G, everyone that's been downplaying the Seahawks, this show included, they're there. They're just
they're
waiting. Someone slips up, they get into the dance. They get into the dance. Now, on the back end of the table, we want to give some love to those back end teams. Ravens, wow, you set the bar very low. But everyone else, listen, kudos to the Lions. The Lions, the whole entire season, they were there second to last, and they've just been putting 4 dubs so far. They put some grit in there. They've gotten some grind in. A little disappointed the Patriots. You expected them to be ahead of Willie Johnson and the Lions. Obviously, the wheels, literally fell off for Ace and the Raiders. Um, Dolphins, another team who wish, they're just mirroring the real life Dolphins. Um,
yeah.
one
I
foot,
mean,
3 feet back.
they did tie us, right? They tied the Falcons. I think it was more of us beating ourselves. We had really unfortunate things happen to us as far as miscommunication on offense, which hasn't happened all season. And obviously, I think that's just a mere fact of obviously bringing in a new player. We had, I think, a few slips, one wide open touchdowns. Um, that we had to just call it what it is, right? Whether it was the field, whether it was the footing. At the end of the day, we didn't win the game, I think we definitely had opportunities to win the game, and ultimately we got a tie out of it, right? So we came out with a point, but obviously very disappointing for us to not beat what we thought would be technically an easy game. So that was frustrating, but I mean, there's really nothing else to say right about that back end other than the Lions. I think ultimately won that trade. Call it whatever you want to call it. As far as why you think the Patriots felt the need to make that trade, obviously they get Drew in the ultimately, I don't think that was enough. But the second page of the standings is the second page for a reason. There's really not that much to talk about, unfortunately.
That's tough. That's tough. Now, overwhelmingly, what do you think was the narrative of this season so far?
Mm.
What have been the highlights? Three things.
I would say this, and I don't know if it would be a highlight, but I think it's definitely something to take away, whether it be from the ownership group or maybe for someone like ourselves or someone like, the guys over at Stock Up, Stock Down. It's more around, and I understand we're all adults and we all have lives, but we got to be able to really look at the schedule and commit. And if you're gonna miss more than a week, guys, like it is so borderline unfair to a team that drafts you to miss 2 weeks, even for someone like a Jonathan, right? That he missed 2 weeks, he fell to tier six, and yes, ultimately on paper his team looks is better for it, and I'm sure they're grateful for it because he's gonna be there for playoffs. But ultimately, that's not a good look for the team. I don't think it's a good look for the league, right? When we have multiple guys missing multiple weeks. Um, and I know that there's a little bit of a caveat to it as far as maybe not announcing that you're going to be missing. I, I'm starting to kind of move away from that because I feel like unannouncing it sucks, right? Because like for someone that doesn't know, or someone, for example, a first time captain, right, that doesn't know anything about the D, doesn't know, is drafting you based on your reputation or based on what they know of you, but you have told other people that you're missing, hoping that you fall to them at a lower position and this guy doesn't know. And ultimately I think that sucks for the league. Right. Because whether that means someone drafted you at a place where you weren't gonna go because you were missing a week, you screwed that team. And then if they say, oh, whatever, I gotta trade him, you're trading him for peanuts.
Yeah, definitely. Something has to be done with the declaring and the missing the weeks. I feel that, touching on what you're saying, there's been a little drop off. And kudos to Stock Up, Stock Down. I love everything that they're doing, the way that they've revamped the show. They've added more people to the show and segments, but it's a two-man race, you know, and then during and in the season, a lot of people missing and multiple teams across. Like it's like you have to look when you're doing, and you really notice when you're doing the done duels. It's that you have to, all right, who's missing this week? Oh wow. When you're doing the pickums, oh wow. And then like you pick based on something and you miss that this person was going to be out. You got it all wrong for that week. Happened to me, I believe it was like week 2 for the pickums. So I get it. I feel that there was a certain allure, and I'm not saying to go back down to 4 man and reducing the pool so that we just have a little bit more quality and make people covet wanting to play here more. But there has to be way more commitment because it kind of felt there wasn't enough narratives throughout the season. The interest, I didn't see it as peaking as it should be. Um, and you're talking to somebody that even when he's been a captain of a bad team, playing bad or not even playing at all or suspended, we show up and we and
I
we
I
cover
was there
for the
while I was
coverage.
recovering from my Achilles.
Yeah, yeah, and you didn't even play a game. I feel that something has to give here. There has to be a little bit more appreciation, and that's why I really want to see, like, in next tournament, future seasons, maybe hold everyone to a higher regard. Maybe not be that first come first serve basis. I think we should pick over quality. There are some good guys that just couldn't send the money till like maybe 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Got some other guys in, miss a couple weeks, kind of watered down the experience. or maybe reserve a slot in your roster just for rookies. Have a rookie draft, and then the unknowns and put them into a
Because
draft.
there's a lot of people that want to join DD, right? And I think that could be a good little wrinkle, right? Just like we've
Like a
kind of done with the
supplemental draft
quarterbacks.
of the unknowns, a
Yeah.
supplemental, like the same way that they did it with the quarterbacks,
Yep.
do a rookie draft. Oh, you're a veteran, you go into the veteran pool. Oh, you're a rookie, you go into the rookie pool. And then just like we did with the quarterbacks, I feel that as the league evolves, people, everyone's going to try to rig the system their way. And they'll spam it. And we're seeing how people spam the league into their benefit. And I feel that some people feel cheated. It was way too early for so many teams to be counted out. So that's either one of two things. People didn't care or people drafted wrong.
No,
And if they
and
drafted wrong, they were bad captains. And that's also an indictment on the people who were making the decision making process of making the captains.
and I will also say this, right? For example, for teams such as the Patriots and or the Lions, for example, with Willie. I don't know off the top of my head,
If
and I'm sure,
Willie was
and
somebody's first pick, if Willie was
no, it would
someone's
be
first
completely
pick,
different,
if
completely
Willie
different.
was somebody's
But
first pick, that would most probably be a top
yeah,
four, top six team right now.
but the point that I'm trying to make is, for example, for those two teams, in my opinion, right? Um, they were doing not too good the first 2 weeks of the season. And again, I'm sure someone's gonna come and say, "Oh, but I was talking shit" or whatever. They also were put in a position where I feel like they couldn't make a lot of moves because of players that were missing weeks or uncertainty. So,
even the
you know,
player even the player replacement for the Lions, like it's like Willie was at a disadvantage, not knowing how the system works, knowing the value system where guys get picked, where the guys get replaced, not understanding how the DDPA works. There's just certain things that if you like anyone who's been in DD, they'll just look at Willie and be like, hey, as DD, man, you have to understand the mechanism and knowing how to work. But for the guy who's new, it's like I'm getting rigged.
yeah,
And that's what it
no, I get,
seems.
yep,
Outside of that, what I miss, I'm just like I love domination. Like we and in sports, there's always that one guy you want to chase, and I just feel that Beaky hasn't lived to that role. It's like MVP talk hasn't lived to that role. Dario, another guy there, hasn't lived to that role. Kakulo hasn't lived to that. Like let's talk about it. Because I remember when, in seasons past, the guys who were winning, they were talking, and Sabina putting up the Pokemon. Oh, I got you this week. Oh, I got you the other week. A lot of it is just we're missing something. We're missing something. And I hope as a league we find it. Because it's what foments competition and it's what makes this league great, ultimately.
100%.
Now, another thing that makes this league great is when we recognize the best of the best. And we are going to right now move into highlighting you and only you, our favorite people of this show, our DD participants. Now, everyone plays not only for the star but for their own personal glory. And one of the facets is our recognition for best tiers and MVP. And this is the talk that you have been waiting for. So, Pedro, how are we doing this? We're starting it from front to back or back to front?
Oh, time
Hey,
out. You
no,
can't,
we're
you
talking
can't
about
say that,
tiers.
bro.
We're talking
You
about
can't say,
tiers, man. We're talking about
you
tiers.
can't
Well,
say
I'm
that,
leaving
bro.
MVP for last. I'm
Yeah,
leaving
yeah, yeah, yeah,
MVP
yeah,
for
yeah.
last.
Or no, I get it. I get it. I get you. I get you. Well, look, I'll say this, guys. Every, I think besides maybe two tiers, in my opinion, or should I say our opinion, because I think we pretty much agreed, because I know you would have told me otherwise. I think besides two tiers, man, this was hard. And I think we have a good amount of like maybe 4 to 6 candidates per tier. Now, for sake of the show and not boring you guys to death, we went a little bit, we condensed it a little bit. But I say we start at MVP. We start at MVP.
MVP.
That's obviously a hot topic.
So,
Um,
in no particular order, we're going to discuss the following four gentlemen that this show has identified that going into week 5 are the potential candidates that if they play their cards right, they will be hosting that trophy.
If we have a week 5 like we had a week 4 as far as status quo go, I think these would be the 4 finalists.
Yeah. Which three of them have been apparent the whole entire season. We had one emerge. We
Yep.
had one emerge. So first one up, Dario from the Chargers. The man has 37 touchdowns, one interception, 13 flag pulls, one defensive INT that was for a pick
A pick
six,
six to start a game, I think.
three receptions.
3 rushing and
No,
receiving
three
touchdowns.
receptions and receiving touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's
First place. Um, for sake of being transparent, I think for him and another potential finalist, even though this potential finalist is gonna, I think is gonna ultimately, in my opinion, catapult above Dario. I think the one thing lacking for both of them is the fact that MVP is not about stats. It is a big factor, but I want to make sure you guys clearly understand this. MVP is not about stats. It's about the impact on the team. And I think part of that, obviously in DD, comes with being the captain, the ability to lead. Are you leading on offense? Are you leading on defense? Are you leading both ways?
if
Are
that guy
you
if that guy doesn't show up, if that guy doesn't open his mouth, if that like then the team plummets.
yeah, yeah. So again, this is no shade towards Dario and no towards, and in my opinion, no shade towards another potential finalist, in my opinion. But I think it's just a reality of it, right? But I
And
think Dario's had a phenomenal season.
Dario is up in contention for me, like in those two stats: MVP, Offensive Player of the Year. Like it's one of those things where like MVP, you're gonna think of the guy that goes both ways, that's gonna impact, that it's on and off the field. Dario didn't impact decision making, but you cannot, by any stretch of the imagination, water down his impact as in his play as a quarterback.
Yeah.
37 touchdowns, one interception.
And he
Have
has a
yourself
defensive stats to
having
go for
yourself
it
a
as well.
season, my boy. Having yourself a
You
season,
know,
my boy.
I think, maybe an additional 5 flag pools. If he can get to like that 18 to 20 range in flag pools, maybe get a pick or two and get close to that 48
50,
to
yeah,
50 number
yeah.
touchdowns. I think
Because
he's
that's what it typically
mm,
an MVP quarterback is that 48
that
plus
comes from the
touchdown.
bottom. That comes from the bottom, right? Because again, whether it's the system or not, his stats are not, oh my God, crazy overwhelming when you hear some of the stats on the other potential finalists. So
Next guy.
again,
Next guy.
yeah,
Beaky, 40 touchdowns, 3 INTs, 14 flag pulls, 2 defensive interceptions, and 1 rushing touchdown.
and here's why I would have him, in my opinion, as first right now. He's played 4 weeks and he's played 3 of those weeks 5 hard.
Yeah.
Week 1 without Kevin, week 2 without Jonathan, and
Now he's going to
week
be without Jonathan.
and that's gonna be without Jonathan again. He's the captain. He drafted that team. He's the clear leader on both sides of the ball. And we all pretty damn sure well know that if he doesn't show up, that team is not doing anything.
Absolutely not. No, because of the team that's created. Like you see that team that is with any other quarterback. You put them with the Giants, you put them with the Seahawks, you put them with the Buccaneers, you put them in the bottom end of the top 10. Beaky's what elevates them to a whole complete other level. Now, for us, it's fun to see how Beaky and Kevin have been playing together and for what we've seen of them. Now, going into week 5, these numbers could blow up even more.
Yeah. And with that being said, Beaky's stats are very comparable to Dario.
No,
One
correct.
more flag pull,
One
one
more
more
flagpole.
defensive INT.
Yeah.
But
Dario has
again,
two more receiving touchdowns. Yes.
it's the weight of the valuable piece.
The decision making.
Yeah. So that's why to me Piku would be first. To me, third is Tronky. Tronky
43
has
touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 6 flagpoles.
so
And
you
one
would
trade.
say one trade, right? And you would say, okay, well, but again, this adds more to his
Value.
candidacy, right? No real captain on the team now. He's 6-0. No true leader on defense, and he's gone 6-0. So if he comes out and he goes 10-0 after the trade and ends up with 55 touchdowns, it's like that's gonna be a hard one to beat, you know. And again, I think this is gonna be a super close race.
Absolutely. It's gonna
Um,
and with the next guy that we're gonna name, this is all gonna boil down to how they play in the final week and where their teams stack up and their performances. Because they're like every different candidate has a very specific contribution in their resume. For example, next guy, Georgie Casculo. And I feel that Georgie's gonna get like the Kobe treatment when Steve Nash won it. Because a lot of his stats are stolen from another great player on that team.
yeah,
Georgie has 62 receptions, 15 tutties, three
passing touchdowns.
32 flag pulls, and two defensive INTs. Now, you would expect that he would at least by this point be at 20 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's the only drawback for me. Yes, he
Because
has still three passing touchdowns, but
normally the winner is going to be trying to break that 28 touchdown record.
yeah.
So there's unrealistic to think that George is going to pop off for 13 touchdowns in the final week. That's
Well,
where
he could do it. He can do it. Now, I think if they go out there trying to do that, I don't think they have a successful week.
right.
Um, but ultimately, I think Georgie definitely deserves to be a finalist. And you never know, man. He can go off for another 15, 20 catches, 8 to 12 touchdowns, and continue to lead the league in receptions and in flag pools. And you never know, right? You really never know. Maybe they end up being the number one seed. You never know.
Tier two.
Tier two.
Yeah.
And I want to start off with this person so that you guys can really understand why Georgie's candidacy almost is like it's brought down a little bit. Peanut, to me, as of right now, and even then, he's not a clear cut winner in tier two, but Peanut has 59 catches, 16 touchdowns, 25 flag pulls, 3 sacks, 2 defensive INTs. He almost has the same amount of catches as Georgie and more rushing receiving touchdowns. Same amount of picks, 7 less flag pulls. So it's like this is the true definition.
Shaq and Kobe, Steve Nash is going to win it.
One-two punch that I don't remember seeing put up the stats that these two are putting up.
Unreal.
We've seen a great season.
And no one's talked about Ray Met. Ray Met, I love you, man. I love you, Ray Met, because it's just like you got what you wanted, Poppy. Under the freaking radar, man. Under the freaking radar into a bye. This is the prototypical season that Ray Met signs up for. This is why he's amazing in tournaments. And I think that this is the right team for him going into the playoffs.
I agree.
Now, outside of Peanut, what we got in tier two? Next up, my 40 receptions, 17 tutties, 1 passing. I didn't know my throws.
That must have been week 4 or week 3.
Jamai Bean, you like that? Jamai Bean like that. 1 passing touchdown, 14 flag pulls, and 4 INTs. Next up, the man that dominated at least 2 weeks in a row and a couple games in a row. Peppers, Pimienta, DD Life favorite. 34 receptions, 18 tutties, 19 flag pulls, 2 INTs.
That's almost a 50% touchdown rate on your catches.
No, it's crazy. It's either you catch
that's
it.
Above. Actually, that's above 50%, which is crazy.
Yeah. Every other catch is a tutty.
So that's tough. And then for me,
that's tricky trick numbers. That's tricky trick numbers in the goal line.
And then for me, although we normally only do 3 finalists, I just think it was too hard to leave, little Carlitos off the ballot potentially. He has 51 catches, 16 tutties, 12 flag pulls, 1 sack. I think he could do a little bit more on the defensive side, maybe with a couple sacks or a potential pick or two. I think that would really catapult him into a real contestant in tier 2.
Just
But
because of where
man,
he got picked, just
yeah,
because like think about it, where Mai gets picked, he's putting up way more defensive numbers than what Carlos is doing. So a lot is being asked of him, but definitely Carlitos way. Tighten up, tighten up, make Nas proud, man. Make Nas proud.
tier three,
Tier three.
which before I made this list, I
Bars.
thought it was going to be a runaway. But then I really saw the stats and I was like, oh, damn. So I'm gonna start with Vinny, man. Vinny, who is someone that obviously not only ourselves, but I'm sure I'm sure Stock Up, Stock Down has said something around it, and I'm sure so has everybody and anybody in the league. Vinny's having a great season, and I think he's ultimately the reason why the Seahawks are still in a position where they're fighting for a playoff spot. Vinny has 36 touchdowns, 4 INTs. He has 25 flag pulls, so he's making his presence known on defense. He has one defensive INT and he has one catch. I don't know why he has just one catch, but one rushing or receiving touchdown. But man, putting up numbers on offense as a quarterback, not a lot of turnovers, which I think we've seen a lot more from him in the past, and 25 flag pulls. He's playing both ways. I think he's ultimately someone that deserves a lot of credit for whether it's him or G leading the Seahawks to where they're at now and still being in contention.
Now also got Aaron, 49 receptions, 13 tutties, 19 flag pulls, 9 sacks. Nasty.
I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. The kid is a dog. He's an energizer bunny. He never gets tired. He just wants to keep going full, full, full. Uh, the kid is obviously has a great future, a very bright future in this game, and I think he's going to continue to remain as a staple, in my opinion, as a tier two, borderline top of tier three. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. No,
in
he gets a bump up after this one.
in
He
the
gets
full
a
in
bump
the,
up after this
exactly
one.
in the famous words of Jordan, his first season he might have been a little bit overdrafted because he was drafted by Peter, who knows him, and this and that. This season, he had a bad season last year because the team obviously didn't do as well as they thought. Turns out he drops a little bit this season. Now he's showing out what he can do once again. So I think next season will really be uh, where he really deserves to be rated and also ultimately drafted. So
It's something
we'll
we've
see.
always said. 3 seasons. 3 seasons gets you in the right spot. And my favorite. My favorite. I listen. If it wasn't manias, it was más o menos. If I could write a check and buy someone off to be a permanent NAS member, is this guy right here. I love this guy. I love this guy. He's a DD Live favorite. Julio G, man. The ageless wonder does not. This kid, you could knock him down 9 times. He gets up 10. 54 receptions, 8 tutties, one pass. He didn't even have it in him. I didn't know he had it in him. One passing touchdown. Julio, who are you? 21 flag pulls, 2 INTs. Another dog. Another dog and a great for DD. Aaron, Julio G, Vinny. It's a three-headed race in our opinion for best tier three. And you guys got a week 5 cut off for you. And in 3 teams, 3 respective teams that are competing. That
Yep.
are competing for something. So definitely something that to keep a look at.
But before we go to tier four, I want to say this, right? Obviously, as you guys might have listened, we have a tier six in the MVP conversation. We have I believe, a tier four in the conversation with Tronki. So this does show that the quarterback draft works, in my opinion, um, because you're able to give those quarterbacks, obviously, I don't think anyone's going to say Tronki's a lesser quarterback, but whether you want to say Dario's a little bit of a lesser quarterback, especially in comparison with Tronki, ultimately it shows because he went in tier six, but by him going in tier six, you give the ability to that captain to really build out a nice team around the quarterback so that we have a little bit more of the parity in the league, right? Obviously, we know, and I don't want to get sidetracked, but I know the Ravens just had a really bad season because their quarterback dropped and they had inconsistency there, right? Same thing with the Dolphins and Joan. They had a lot of inconsistency at the quarterback position due to injuries. And I think same thing with the Lions before finally let Isaiah jump in, So I think that goes to show that the quarterback draft really works. And Also, just to say that because those guys are included in the MVP conversation, that's why they're not included in their respective tiers as of now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's make that clear. Make that clear. Now, going forward, tier 4. We got 3 guys that we're looking at. One of those NAS guys creeps in there again. No bias. No bias. George E, 42 receptions, 15 tutties, 22 flag pulls, 2 defensive interceptions.
I'll say this because I think his value to those that maybe don't know
You're
him too
getting
much.
40 receptions out of a tier 4.
I'll tell you this. I think if you really ask Nico in a closed room who the MVP of his team is, he'll say it's George, even above himself. Because George held that team down when Nico was out, and he has been
Kid is always
extremely vocal.
smiling. Kid is always
Yep,
smiling, man. Like he just like if we had a like a ray of sunshine award for the like for for DD, like this kid just radiates. Like you talk to him and just smile, like he just I like the kid. Great kid.
yep, yep.
And especially with
Next,
all the turmoil the Bengals had. Because
yep,
not having Nico, having to deal with Rodgers' injury, having to deal with Roger at quarterback, and every time you look at him, because Campos is the screamer.
yeah,
So you got your rah-rah guy, but I just feel like George is the one that brings that balance into the Bengals team. And when you get 40 catches at this tier, this kid's
yeah,
having himself a season.
yep.
Next guy, my guy. If you've been to Twin Peaks, you know who he is. My man, Pharrell, 25 receptions, 6 tutties, 12 flag pulls, 5 defensive interceptions. And that's really the overwhelming quality here. 5 defensive interceptions from a tier 4. Either they
Not
don't know
much.
that they don't know he's a dog, or this man's everywhere.
Yep, yep. Not much more you can ask for there. And then the same thing goes for Vic Herrera, rounding out our tier 4 finalists. 29 catches, 11 touchdowns, 13 flag pulls, 1 sack, also with 5 defensive interceptions. Someone else that I think dropped a little bit, maybe due to his injury history, and I think slowly but surely has been kind of almost to me felt like built up to where he's at right now. Where I feel like week 1, we played them week 1, game 1. He was almost non-existent in our game. And then I feel like little by little, by watching them, they've almost like been building him up, like if he's recovering from an injury, and now he's like full go. And I mean, I think last week he had like 3 picks in week 4. So that ultimately, I think definitely a warranted finance, and I think tier 4 is gonna have some good competition.
Tier 5, we got Campos, the screamer. 37 receptions, 12 tutties.
The
Solid.
only thing Campos needs is he needs a little bit of more defensive stats because
Yeah,
as
it's
you
just
see,
offensive player.
it's just
Offensive player.
offense. Yeah.
Gerson, 28 receptions, 8 tutties, 19 flag pulls, 1 sack, 1 defensive INT. And I feel like, like when you look at that resume, a little bit more impactful. You see it both sides of the field. It's not just, like he's a liability on one side, he's great on the other. And then Jeremy, Jaguars, 22 catches, 4 tutties, 16 flag pulls, 8 sacks.
Yep.
8 sacks.
Someone that I also can commend for building themselves up. He came in, people were super low on him, and little but surely, look, he squeaked out of tier 6. Now he's in tier 5, and he's showing out as a tier 5.
Now, tier 6, we got 4 guys in consideration. First one, Kevin G. My fellow
this is
Manchester
missing a
United
week.
fan.
This is missing a week,
And
by the
missing
way.
a week. 20 receptions, 10 tutties, 10 flag pulls. And he still got a week to play. And he missed a week. Beautiful. Dolan, 17 receptions, 9 tutties, 20 flag pulls, and a defensive INT. Nick Birch, 18 receptions, 6 tutties, 8 passing touchdowns with no INTs. How'd you do that, Nikki? 9 flag pulls. And my man, we gonna sneak you in there. We gonna sneak you in there in that tier 6 because you were drafted in tier 6. 31 touchdowns, 2 INTs, 6 flag pulls, 1 stupid INT, 3 receptions.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean,
Hey, there's a
I
lot.
think tier six is another one that you look at those stats and that is tough. That is a tough three guys, in my opinion, to like really pick from. And again, this is not to take anything away from these guys, and also not to take anything away from Dario. I think if Dario doesn't win MVP and falls to the tier six, it's not a foregone conclusion that he wins best tier six.
Yep.
At least I don't think so.
All righty. So that concludes our MVP talk and our tiers talk. And I hope week 5 makes it clear so that the voting makes it easier. But with that being said, you know that this season in DD we've been kind of changing up the tune a little bit. So we brought in a special guest, someone that we've been talking a lot about this season, and we want to we talked about him in the MVP talk, and we want to get to know him a little bit more. So without further ado,
A repeat offender, if I'm not mistaken, on the
let-
show.
This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
quarterback of the Chargers, Dario.
Talking about, let's get a better angle of that, bro. Let me see your shoulders. Let me
Let's see
come
it.
on.
Let's see
You
the
gotta show
rocket,
out.
Poppy. Let's see the
You gotta
rocket.
show out, dog.
What's
We're
up, guys?
Florida. We don't need a concealed weapons permit no more. You could open carry, Poppy. Show it to me. How you feeling? How you feeling at the top of the table? I know that the air is very thin at high altitudes. But how do you feel? How do you feel? First place. You're in the conversations with Beaky, MVP talk. Come on, man. Talk to me. How do you feel?
Can't lie, it's nice to be in the conversation with Beaky and Tronky. MVP, who would have thought after my first DD season. But it feels great. I know a lot of people didn't count us to be at the top either. So it feels good to show out to some people that, I got something to prove.
But let's dial that back a little bit. Walk us through it because you're one of the best examples of someone that wasn't an original DD player, comes in, faces turmoil, faces the bullying, faces the banter,
Drafts their friends.
drafts their friends. Your own friends treat you like crap and leave you and let you in the freaking and let you down and all that stuff. So talk to us. Like, do you feel a little bit of redemption? Do you feel like this is more of who I am? Or this is like talk to us. Like walk us through the whole roller coaster of emotions of what is Dario's DD experience to date. Season to tournament to now.
This is your fourth season, no? Or your third?
We're like
Correct.
third season, 2 tournaments.
Fourth season, and I've played in 2 tournaments. Yeah.
So talk to us. Give us a
Um,
roller coaster.
I mean, my first season ever, I drafted every single person I drafted was one of my boys. I think I have the record for the least amount of wins in a season that season. It
Hey, but
was
you won a game.
I won.
Someone might break that one this season. So chill out, Poppy. Relax.
I hope they do because I don't want that title no more. But my first season was a very big hit. Like, I've never played both ways, and the sun was crazy. And playing with your boys, I don't know. I guess everybody wants to win more in DD than they want to win anywhere else. It's just weird. Like the way they talk to you, the way they scream at you because you're losing, and all that stuff. My
There's
first,
no hiding in DD, man. There's no hiding.
yeah, my first season was bad. My first season, yeah, it was really bad. Then
What would you say is like the pinnacle so far? Your
like
highest point
my
in
best
DD?
season.
No, like you're like the moment where you're like pure euphoria in DD.
I guess my second season when I was with the Colts and I drafted Daleks, Mike V, and we were a bottom tier team. I think we had the sixth spot to make the playoffs, the last spot to make the playoffs, and we made it to the conference championship. I think that was like a point where I was like, having fun. I was having a blast, and we won a couple games, and that's when I tore my labrum. But that was probably my best and like happiest time. I guess I was in DD for sure.
How has the experience been this season? Because in previous seasons, you've been in the back trying to chase the front, but now everyone's chasing you.
This
How's that been
season,
different? And
oof.
and, and, and like on this show, Pedro's been saying that you've had easy schedules. Nico's been saying you had easy schedules. You haven't played nobody. This is just because like it's pure coincidence. You guys are getting the Patty Mahomes treatment. Tell me.
Uh, um, this season I can't complain. Has like I came into the season I really didn't think much of my team. I didn't really like my team. I thought I thought I was gonna be giving the ball off to Chris almost every play, or eventually Chris was gonna be quarterback. I didn't like the team. Me and Serge as your tier sixes. I don't think that would have been a good idea. But when I kept playing quarterback week in and week out. I'm throwing to Lavaris, Adrian, Chris M, and Byron.
Yeah.
I have four top tier
Studs.
players,
Yeah.
four studs, yeah, four studs, and Serge is no walk in the
No
park.
slouch.
It's
Yeah,
like
no, definitely.
he to me he's actually one of the main reasons why him and Chris are one of the main reasons why I have success. I call my plays in the huddle quick, and then Serge is the first one calming me down, telling me to breathe, and waiting for the play clock to go down. So he's been a huge help too. So like this is the best team I've ever had in DD, and also a team that believes in me. That I don't know, it's like the first time I ever had people like actually like believe in me and like tell me, hey, like we got this and we're gonna go forward. And having another quarterback on the team has been to me like the biggest thing, because you're not gonna you're bringing your safety down. So let's say when I played the Texans the first time with Baca comes down to go get Chris because he thinks it's gonna be a handoff, and then you have Adrian one on one with Arlen on a post. That's easy touch. That's an easy touchdown. No disrespect to Arlen, but you're not guarding one on one with no safety out on a post on Agent or Lavaris. That to me has been my biggest success. And I tell Chris, your stats aren't there, but the reason why we're winning is because everyone's playing up. Every
Yeah.
team I play, the safety comes up,
And the
the
moment they
corners
push
come
back,
up.
you're going to give it to Chris.
Exactly. The moment anyone
And
goes
then
up,
a tier six has to chase you and you're rolling out, like going for a pass.
correct. And then I'm open. I've scored three touchdowns receiving. Chris has thrown.
We talked about it. We talked about it.
So, this season has been like, oof, the happiest, the chillest. I haven't needed to trade. I don't even answer calls or texts about trades, none of that.
How's it been? How's it been with or getting raped by Joe on? But how's it been? How's it been playing with the Martinez brothers? How's that experience been?
Oof, they want to win. That's all I can say. They don't care about anything else other than winning. And when you don't win, they let you hear it. But even if you lose, they're still there for you. They tell you, they bring it up, they talk to you about what you did wrong and all that stuff. They don't shit on you, but they make sure hey, you can't keep doing this.
So you play the Ravens, Bengals, Giants, and Falcons. And we talked about this already on the show, and we feel that there is absolutely no way possible you walk out of week 5 without one of those top 2 seeds. Now, do you feel walking into week 5 that the weight of the world is on your shoulders?
No. I'm having fun, and week 4 wasn't my best week, and we went 3-0. It wasn't my best week. My completion percentage was down because it was my worst week, and we went 3-0. And whether it's easy teams or whatever everyone wants to say, because at the end of the day, I'm ranked one of the worst quarterbacks in DD. So if anything, I'm the easy team. Everyone should be beating me because I suck. So in my eyes, I don't have the weight on my shoulder, because if I struggle, I'll give a handoff to Chris. Chris is gonna throw a touchdown. It's that simple.
Yeah,
For
you have you have not necessarily a security blanket because I wouldn't say not necessarily that Chris is not that. It's just I wouldn't think of it that way. You have number one, you have dogs on your team.
yeah,
That's not in question. But I think it's just you have that sense of security that if something is not going well, hey, let's reset. Let's give Chris a handoff. Let's get some yards. You can make a positive play just with a simple handoff.
Yep.
So you don't feel like you're always behind the eight ball. If you make a bad throw on first down, or you're stuck in a second and long or something like that, you can give Chris a hand up and say, hey, if you got it, run, just get yards.
Yeah. Nah, I just get yards. I also throw the ball too and maybe score a touchdown. Like last week, I think he scored like four. The week before that, he scored like three touchdowns, like throwing and running. Like it's been crazy because whenever my shoulder hurts, I just give him a handoff. Whenever something's not working on third and long, I'll give him a handoff, and man, he makes something happen, and it's a first down. It doesn't rely on me to make that crazy of a throw.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're getting to the best two segments of the show. And it's going to be where Dario, you get to help us pick the games of the week. We're going to get those pick'ems in and get those bold predictions in. First game,
Time
Giants.
out. Time out. Time out. I'll say this. I want to say this. I I I don't know why the Giants have two games of the week when they're not even playing two top. Like if they were playing the Chargers and the Packers, I'd understand. But they have two games of the week when they're playing the Bengals, ninth place team, and they're playing the Oilers, seventh or eighth place team. Not to say anything, but I think the Chargers should have gotten two games of the week. I get it because they're playing the Bengals, but I would say our game should probably be a game of the week,
I think so too.
Let's
in
call
my
that one.
opinion.
Let's call that one. Let's call that one. What's the score? Because I know you're going to pick the Falcons and you're going to pick
So
the
then, so then
Chargers.
you might as well pick yourself.
Well, what? You guys are kidding me. What time is your game?
1 o'clock is our last game. 1:15, I think, right? 1:15, yeah.
Hey, I picked the Chargers. Because Chris Martinez hates you.
That's the game I'm gonna give him the ball the whole
I
game.
picked the Chargers, baby.
Hey, I'm rushing that game. I'm rushing
I
that game.
picked the Chargers because Chris Martinez.
Hey.
Damn you, don't you can't put me against. And I'm like, I know I picked the Chargers. I'm like, looking like I knew it. I knew it. I locked eyes. Man, me and Chris, we're on a different vibe. First game, guys. Giants, Bengals. I got Bengals. Big 4-2. I'm getting Nico's gonna be like cracked out this weekend. He don't
I
want to-
It's what I said earlier during the show, man.
No, I know you like the matchups.
I like the matchups. I'm a matchup guy. I'm gonna take the Giants. The Giants need to win. Yes, the Bengals need to win also, but the Giants, we said it, they have a tough schedule.
Yeah.
They need a win.
Yeah, something has to give. Dario,
I mean, I saw the Bengals last week play, and I didn't really like everything I saw. But if everyone locks in for the Bengals, I think that's a tough team to beat. Nico being the best quarterback and make things happen with no tier one is beyond me, but I think the Bengals have 4-3.
okay, excellent. Okay, next game, Steelers, Jaguars. I got the GOAT.
Yeah, I got David. I got David here. 3-2.
I got the Jaguars. I got the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars have like one of the more well-rounded teams in the league.
They
Uh,
do, they do. I just feel they've been struggling.
Yeah, and if Striz doesn't turn the ball over, I think that's a very hard team to beat. It's not a team that you want to play, especially in the playoffs.
I just feel like they tried to make trades and there's just
Something going on, some
something's
turmoil.
not clicking there. Like, yeah, they gotta win some games to get the mojo back.
I think that happened. I think it happens like 3-2. Pretty defensive game, 3-2.
Bengals, Chargers. See, this one I went unorthodox. I went Bengals. I went Bengals on this one because I know that crackhead Nico's going to be out there. Everyone's going to be gunning for you guys, and I feel like this is the only loss you guys get on the week. You guys got to give it in somewhere, and I think this is where you guys drop it. But I would not be surprised if you could stomp these guys.
It's fair. That's fair. I think that's gonna be Byron's big game. Byron talks a lot of shit to Nico and Roger. I think Byron's gonna ball out.
You
He's
guys win this game, you guys go 4-0.
Yeah, I think we win this game. I think we win it 4-2. I mean, or 4-3. It's hard to stop Nico, but I don't know. I just think Byron's
Yeah.
gonna go crazy.
Yeah, I think the game ultimately comes down to Byron, because ultimately if Byron rushes Nico well enough,
Yeah.
I think you guys can definitely get a stop or two, and I think that's all you need because ultimately, whether it's potentially Campos rushing at the beginning, I don't think Roger can cover Surge. And again, I think at the end of the day, you guys do have the ability to give a handoff, where Nico can't. So because of that, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys beat them. But ultimately, I'm gonna pick the better quarterback, and I'm gonna say Bengals 4-3.
Respect
Okay.
it.
And the last one, but not least, Oilers Giants. Now I got the
I,
Oilers.
I mean, you know how I feel. To me, this is a pretty easy pick. To me, I got the Giants 4-2.
I got the Oilers.
Think I got the Giants winning too,
Oh
like
my god.
4-3. I don't know. I didn't see much from the Oilers. I didn't like the trade that they made at all. And I think the Giants are gonna have to recover in order to make the playoffs. If not, they're out.
Okay. Now, moving on to the last one, bold predictions. Bold predictions we have here. And I got one bold one. And David can't steer me wrong on this one. I'm going Steelers 4-0. I'm going Steelers 4-0 and the Seahawks making the playoffs. I think the Seahawks go 3-1, 2-2 this weekend. Seahawks makes the playoffs. Steelers go 4-0. Talk to me nice. What you got for me, Dario?
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I just don't
Better,
think.
what you got for me?
I Man, this is tough. And I don't know if this is actually like a bold prediction, but I will say this. I will say this. I think two of the top four teams fall out of those top four. I think the Vikings and I think the Texans fall out of the top four. Um, I do agree that the Steelers go 4-0, so I think I got the Steelers jumping into one of those buys, and then I think I got the Falcons jumping into another buy.
That's fair.
There's 4 buys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 buys, 12 playoff teams.
Well, I like the Eagles going 4-0 for sure. I think Ant needs to figure it out, and I think they're well rounded enough. I know they're not playing with
Okay.
Julio.
Jaguars, Seahawks,
Wait.
Dolphins.
Angel,
Yeah.
Angel, stop talking. Repeat that, door.
I know they're not playing with Julio.
Oh,
Oh, if that's not news. Oh, I
you
thought.
just
Oh my god.
Beep, beep. I know they're
Yeah,
not playing
well,
with
we talked
Julio.
about this on the show, but okay, keep going,
yeah.
going. We talked about this on the show. Keep going.
So
All
you
right,
got them going 4-0 without Julio.
yeah, I think
Nah,
Ant
no
needs to
shot.
go
That's
4-0.
bold. Hey,
That's
you know what?
bold
That's
now.
bold. We ain't going back you off of that one.
I think they go 4-0, and I like the Seahawks making the playoffs, going 3-1, and their losses to the Eagles.
Okay.
Damn, I'll say this. This is an ugly ass schedule. They play at 8:45. They don't play again till 11.
And then back to back, and then 115.
That's an ugly schedule.
Fula. Yeah, CP's not a fan of them. He don't like pimienta. Now, Dario, we always let everyone that comes on the show get at least 15 to 30 seconds uninterrupted. This is your moment to whatever you have on your chest, you can put it all out there. Uninterrupted. Floor is yours.
I just want to say, for all the people that always hate, talk shit, I hope I can prove you wrong. Well, I'm definitely gonna prove you wrong. All those people that say I have 0% chance to win a star, you're gonna see. I'm
Call
definitely
them
gonna
out.
or definitely gonna call them out. They hide behind the forward messages. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's too many to count.
Tell him.
The Martinez brothers are coming to play. Adrian is gonna ball. Chris is gonna throw some TDs and have a great feeling of winning that star.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. All right, Dario. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for contributing to this show. We love you. We hope we wish you the best on the final week, and we hope best endeavors for that star and for that MVP trophy.
Thank you guys.
Sure.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, my boy.
Wow, what a show thus far. But if you guys think that we're done, we're doing something unprecedented, something completely unprecedented, and it's
Never
something
been done.
done before, and it's what we want to call the state of the league. And for that, without further ado,
This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
We're gonna
How
open up the
many?
floodgates.
4
All of them.
people?
This is unprecedented. This is completely unprecedented.
Somebody help Andy out, bro. Someone help Andy out, bro.
He's
Jonesy
on.
talking to the camera,
He's
man.
on. He's on. He's on. He's on. This
Yeah,
is
let me
something
see.
unprecedented. It's never been done. We're the
Hello?
first show that gets all four of DD pillars on this episode. Gentlemen, how are you guys feeling?
You guys hear me?
Who goes first?
You guys
Yeah.
sound amazing.
Andres, you're muted.
Behra, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
What's going on?
So, guys,
Well, go.
I don't
Sorry,
even know who goes first when they
CP,
say.
that's a nice
you guys ask
background, bro. Let
questions.
me see it.
I have somebody there in the background. I'm sorry.
Oh my
Just-
god, this guy, bro. Already starting.
Oh,
Is that Tua?
That
that's him and Tua together. Huddled
that's
up, bro.
listen,
Yo,
that's
CP, how do I do that?
How do you do that? Backgrounds?
Oh, I have a fire background.
This is
Man,
not
I
what
look-
we,
I
I
look-
actually look really, really, really happy.
this is
in
not
that
what we
picture.
intended for it to happen, guys.
yeah, no,
I-
no. This is better than when Kevin came on with
Oh my God. Yeah, you got it. It looks good. It looks good. Andres looks
I look very happy.
yeah, bro. You're whispering the plays to Tua, bro.
Yo, is this how we win DD Live? Back to back to back to back. That's another one.
No. Back out.
We
Back
need-
out,
Yo,
back
yo,
out,
yo,
back
yo,
out.
hey, chill,
Back
chill,
out,
chill. This is
back
a
out.
kid-friendly show, bro.
Is that a dick in his mouth?
Oh my
All
god, we
right.
got the first cuss word on DD Live.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right, gentlemen. So, hey, first and foremost, I know that we want to thank you guys for coming on the show. I know that it was very hectic schedules to try to get you guys all to come here, but DD is your brainchild. It is your most trusted asset. We want to thank, well, except for Andy, because Andy owns half of South Florida right now by this point. So, but we want to bring him. We want to bring him back into our corner here. Now, one of the things that we first want to bring up, and before we talk about in the past, how do we feel about this season? Andres, how you're commissioning? Give us your take on the season.
I actually was happy at the beginning when we selected the captains. I thought it was going to be very even the season. I just saw a lot of quitters. I don't like the quitters, the captains that quit. They're trying to abandon their teams. They're trying to do other things. Not very happy with that. I mean, I think we need to make a better selections on captains. I've always been a proponent of the QB captains because I feel like QBs are more responsible. They care more. They feel like they're on the field, they're the head of the team, basically. So if they're on the field, they're the head of the team, then they take more responsibility over their teams. And I just feel like these captains that are talented, they're not very, I guess, they don't show like they care as much for their teams. So I mean, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed on that part. But overall, I mean, I still think there's a lot of teams that are very much in contention for a star. I'm pretty upset with the Falcons and losing Al because I think that they were pretty top contending team. It's just now they're kind of like middle of the pack. But outside of that, I mean, there's a few good teams that they can all win it all.
Which we did speak about, because one of the benefits, and you'll be able to see it, is that when you look at the MVP talk and when you look at the best tiers talk, it's because of the fact that you added the quarterback supplemental draft is the reason why there's guys that are in a tier, they'd win their tier in a lower tier, but they're in that MVP talk. Like
Yeah.
Dario would have
We
been
have a tier 6 and a tier 4 in MVP contention.
So that speaks volumes as how the QB draft works. But yeah, definitely one of the things that we have noticed this season have been the quitters.
I got them up here. Look, we got Daleks over here. We got AJ over here. And unfortunately, Al's behind these bars over here, so we can't.
Oh,
Yo, too
Too
much.
soon. Too soon. This goes on YouTube. All right, this stands the test of time. Now, compared to other seasons, and I want because I feel like with the four, like CP and Andres could obviously take this further back, but Joan and Andy have been more exposed to the current times. Where do you guys feel this season rank? If someone this is their first season ever, how would this season rank into seasons past?
I'll take this. Or you guys got it?
No, I think he wants somebody from either me or CP because
So
we're the
I
ones
got
that played before.
All right.
So obviously, like we've come such a long way in everything we've done, content, personalities. I think this year the personalities are incredible, man. And when you bring in great personalities and great football, and anybody could literally win. I don't think there's a favorite this year, right?
Right.
When you bring great personalities and great football together this year, this is honestly a top 5, top 3 season for me personally, in the sense of anybody could win it. It's entertaining. Before it was more of like ugly football. Well, we still have ugly football with like the Ravens and the Eagles at times, but it's just way better. And Tronky coming back and getting traded, and then now dominating, and Marley going crazy with the touchdowns, man. I mean, I think this is a top 5 season for me personally. Aside from when the Browns went undefeated back in the day. But overall,
Only undefeated team, right? Only one undefeated team.
yes, sir.
I kind of think that CP is just biased because he's having a good season and he's getting touchdowns this season because he never
Absolutely.
gets
All right,
touchdowns. He's being super biased. It's
all
not.
right, I'm gonna come in.
Let me
I
compare
think-
first. Hold on. Let me compare the previous because I feel okay. This season, I feel I have it more like in the middle of the pack. I feel like we've had better seasons with more, I guess, teams that are more like, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of competitive teams this season, but I feel like just the whole dynamic of teams quitting at the end. I feel like there's a lot of teams quitting right now. So again, from past, obviously the talent has grown crazy high. Because from before we used to have basically me as a tier 2, tier 3, which is horrific, to now that basically I'm a tier 5, maybe even tier 6 at some point. I'm getting compared to people like Ray, so apparently I'm tier 6 now.
No, is it no one?
Wow.
Listen.
By the way, he's
No one
very
wants
butthurt
competitive
about that.
advantage.
He's
No one
very
wants
upset
competitive
about that.
advantage. No one wants a competitive advantage.
Yeah, apparently I'm getting inside for Ray now. Ray Martinez. I'm a no offense to Ray, but I feel like I'm a better-
Rejected. I'm rejecting that. I'm rejecting that.
So
Like,
does
I'm
that mean
sorry.
that I can come in as a 6 now?
I'm still in the DDPA.
Yeah, you can come in for Roger right now.
Perfect.
go ahead, Juan.
Hey, Andy, listen, just give me the locks. I'll prove it. Okay, I'm on the DDPA. I think I have some swing.
Yeah.
Joe and Andy, now we want to hear you guys. You guys are the
Listen,
new
I don't got
guys.
much to say about this particular season other than I can't believe Tronky came back to the league because that guy has shitted on our league multiple times that I've heard, but he's back for more. So it's just funny to me that he keeps coming back to the greatest league ever known to mankind.
Well,
So,
you just said it, and that's a test to these
Yeah.
guys that talk shit about the league. They
yeah,
can't live without DD. Like
100%.
if you hate something so much, and imagine him that he has to bro.
Drive
I wouldn't do
it.
I wouldn't do it. So imagine, and that's me saying as an owner, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm saying not for DD. Like I would not do that for another league that I don't own.
Yeah.
So that's.
No, I can just imagine the drive back after.
But
Bobby
to his
traded him.
defense, I do agree that he's been bullied the start of his career. Now, could you say that some of it's his fault?
By you?
Well, yeah. I mean, but you can point to like, all right, was it his fault? Was it not his fault? Whatever. So I do think that he's turning the corner on. But to answer your question, Angel, first, I'm pretty sure you're gonna bring this up later, but there's eras to DD. You know, like as you mentioned, the Andres and CP era. They call it the Dino times. Like the eras where Ham was a captain, where Align was a captain. Like
1920s.
Great guy though. Align's a great guy. We have the best GIF of all time
Yeah.
of Align.
Then I think era number 2, which you can call it like the 90s basketball era, is like that season 9 or maybe season 5. No, season 5 is still early. Like season 9 when me, Lewis, Jordan, Chris D came in, the Davids, to like season maybe 13 where the Dolphins won. That was in the Doral Park.
At the Doral Park,
Where
yeah.
it was like 4-on-4 still. It felt weird. It still felt small. DD felt like tiny at then. Like it felt still like a brotherhood. Now it's not a brotherhood. Now it feels like it's like open.
Roger's like starting like race wars on the track.
Like,
and tropical.
I feel like we lost the exclusivity of this league recently, maybe in the last couple seasons. But that means like me personal, not in the league because we have a wait list every season, so it's still exclusive to get in. Like it's not easy to get in. If anything, it's harder now. Um, but this season's been weird. This season to me has its pros and cons. Pros meaning there's no clear winner. Like I can't pick
Correct.
a team and be like, hey, there's no way nobody like my season, my last season that I played, you'd be like, yo, nobody's beating Joan. And look, somebody beat me in the championship. So there's no one like the Packers are nasty. There's no one that really but the bad part is that there is a few bad teams. Like Andres mentioned the quitters, like the Panthers, the Dolphins.
That's nothing. That's nothing new to DD, man.
But
I know,
normally
but
we
like
only have
That
one or
happens
two.
every year, bro.
That
There's
happens
always
every
2 to 3
season.
teams that are dog water.
But
Happens every
normally we
season.
have 1 or 2 graveyards, and it feels like there's 5 of them this season.
yeah. I feel like there's been a lot of buys.
Like that
every
after
week,
week
like-
1, because other seasons, you'd be hard pressed that after week 1 you'd be like, all right, these 5 teams, they're gonna have no business by the end of the season. And then there's seasons that as the year progresses, then you're like, oh, we got it wrong. Oh, we got it wrong. Oh, yeah. But in this one, it was like the teams that got called out at the beginning, like they're gonna be nobody. All of them are in the second page of the standings. So I do agree where there has been a bigger allotment of graveyards this season and a lot more quitters. But as owners, how do you guys pivot? How do you guys answer to this? Do you cut down to a 4-man league? Do you stay 5-man? Or instead of going first come, first serve, we're going to start now thinking about what you did in the past, how much you've quit in the past. Can we rely on you to be here a full-time participant? Are those things that you guys are going to take into account, or is it going to still be the first come, first serve basis?
I'll go first and then CP add on. So even though you guys might not think, we put a lot of hours into the off season of DD, and we try to figure out obviously the best product that we need to put out. Now, it's really hard to grab a captain that we know is a tier 1 and say, hey, you're not going to be a tier 1 next season because you were an asshole this season and you wanted to quit on your team, right? Like a Daleks, for example, right? He's having a terrible season, but he's a tier 1. Like if he returns to DD, he's going to have to be a captain. So we try to find ways to help him, whether it's behind the scenes with the draft, whether it's me talking to him daily, like, helping him. But that now going to 4-man is only going to hurt the league. It will not benefit the league. What does that mean? That means 20-something players are sent to the wait list right off the bat. We cut down the league. People are like, oh, you do it because of making more money. There's a lot of guys in DD that think we make money. We're not, bro. If you divide the hours, and even for us 4, because we all work a regular job outside of this, you divide the hours we put into the paycheck that we get, I would assume Andres is under $1 an hour. I'm probably at $1.25. CP's probably at $1.25, and Andy's probably at like $17 an hour because he doesn't put a lot of hours in. But that's $17.
I can't even take my family to Disney with that money I make a year.
So it would staying at 5-man, I think, is the right thing to do. Now we went to 20 teams this season because of the amount of people.
Well, I was gonna add to that really quick. When you go to 20 teams, you're gonna dilute the product, right? And you're gonna have 4 or 5 bad teams. The reason why you don't have 4 or 5 bad teams previous seasons, you're 16 teams. So that right there, automatically, you're diluting.
Absolutely.
So I think that's part of the problem there. Where I think personally, I think 16 teams is where we're the most efficient, and the league is at its highest peak. That's just me. But we got to try different things. And I always say it about this league. It's an evolving league. Why is it an evolving league? Because the owners here, the Andres, the CPs, the Johns, I'm behind the scenes. I don't really give too much input. I'll look at the chat. But these guys really put their minds into creating a better product every season so it continues to evolve. And they're not going to sit stagnant, letting the league fall apart like other leagues that we know, right? So they really care about the league. They really want to see the league blossom. So they're always bringing different ideas to the table to make the best possible product. So they took a shot this season, 20 teams. It seems like it's not the best from a standpoint of we have graveyards. That's part of it. You're gonna have some of that.
I was gonna say, John and Andres, that's part of it as far as when it comes to, and even CP, right? Since you guys are in the day-to-day as far as graveyards. But I would argue, right? Like I was telling, like we were just discussing earlier in the show, the Ravens are a graveyard because they lost their quarterback. If you lose your quarterback that's highly touted, you're gonna have a bad season. The Dolphins lose Joan after week 1. That team's automatically going to be in disarray already. Even though after Joan clearly said, "Hey, if I'm not there, that team's going to suck because they're not going to score 4." So like I would say 20. Although I would agree
And don't
maybe
forget the
20 is not.
Falcons. The Falcons lost Al. Like any other team that wasn't as great, that if it wasn't, you guys were the number one team at the point where Al has to drop. Any other team, that's a third team that they lose their captain and their
You got to think about this. This is an Iron Man league, right? Right, where you're going both ways. When you increase the amount of teams, the variables are going to go up in the sense of people getting hurt. So you got to factor that in, and it might be key pieces. And that it just happens to be that this season some key guys went down, and that's what happens. You know,
Yeah,
it's the
that's a
gamble of having so many.
very good point that Berra brought up. I didn't even think about that. If you really, really analyze it and you want to go team by team, Dolphins, Ravens, that's true. When you lose two elite quarterbacks essentially in done deal, arguably the best quarterback in done deal, and automatic two graveyards. But to be honest with you, to kind of not to stay with this topic too long, but I never expected done deal to be what it is now, right? I don't know if Andres did either, but bro, how fast did we fill up, Andres, this year? How fast did we fill
no
up?
minutes, because I know people that they sent the money by 10 minutes
Bro,
after, and they didn't make
that
it.
we have no choice. It's like Johan said, we boot for what, like a certain percentage of the league. You get me? And no one gets to play, you know?
But it's good. It's good for everyone to hear it from your mouth, though, and
And
that's the whole premise of asking the question, because I want the whole idea of this whole segment is that for everyone to have an understanding and where the league is at, and that there's firm footing and the decision making process behind it.
yeah,
And
the thought
I think
process that goes
I
into
think
it.
fives is more fun than fours any day of the week.
Makes the game way more complicated. Absolutely.
Yeah, it does. There's more of a strategy to it.
Yeah.
Um,
And to Andy's point, as far as the 20 teams, I or not sorry, the to Andy's point of this league is an ever evolving league. They're going to miss and they're going to hit sometimes. Just like we were discussing, the quarterback draft to me is an absolute massive hit,
Banger.
right? Because like we talked about with Dario being in the MVP contention, it now gives the ability for that captain to really build a team around him as a tier 6 and not having to reach for
mhm,
him at tier 3 or tier 4.
mhm.
So it's par for the course, and it'll always be like that at DD. But ultimately, the good thing about DD is the fact that because of the ownership and because of the leadership, yes, they're gonna miss, but they're gonna hit. And I would say at this point it's probably closer to 60-65% hit.
Now,
You'll think that.
question on the next thing. Given that this is an Iron Man league, given that there's always issues with the injuries or the missing weeks, would you guys be open to thinking about having an extra player on the team that could be subbed in? Whether
Libero.
that, like that would be like they will have to obviously think about how you would cap the rankings, how would you be able to allocate that so you wouldn't be too top heavy. But would you guys actually start to consider DD being able to have a player to come in from the sidelines? And I'm just asking because I was on a team that had two guys puking at the same time, and I didn't have enough players, and obviously I got hung for it. But it would have been nice to maybe had an extra guy on the sideline that could come in, especially if we have so much want to be into the league. Do you think that people would sign up to be that rotation player or be part of a team where you could constantly be rotating into a game?
You aren't the first person to bring that up. So when it's come up multiple times, I guess it's a good point to discuss. But Andres has done a good job of shutting that down by defending his side of it. There's a DDPA involved. There's a DDPA for a reason. There's a commissioner for a reason. We do allow you to jump in. A guy, if the commissioner feels like it's fair, we've allowed people to jump right in. Your guy goes down, he's out for the season. Boom. Hey, there's a guy on the sideline stretching someone out. Bring him in. If he's fair, bring him in. And now it gets really hard. We've had also the discussions of like people outside of DD being the DDPA.
No, no.
But it's bro. There's endless ideas, but it's really hard to like put together a pool of players that are gonna be there that don't necessarily know if they're gonna play or not, or are just gonna hang out on the sideline.
No, I think that's asking too much of a group of people.
No, I was thinking of seeing it more of like a the way the other leagues do it, that you could have more than the 5 players and then you could sub in and out in order to be able to have more like fresher legs, but maybe cap that maybe like listen, your last player has to be either a tier 5 or a tier 6 or a tier 4 and above. So like that you could be able to
Yeah, no,
rotate
that
in and
makes
out.
sense. And I'll
Well,
tell you something that we struggle on, and me and Andres see
Because I feel
differently
like
on.
you get it's easier to get back end players than to get front end players.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
So look, I'll tell you something. This is a little off track, but something me and Andres have always just not disagreed, but we fight on because you guys think everything's cool back here in the back end. It's not. Is the fact that Andres loves rookies and I love vets, right? So when the sign up happens and vets start coming in, rookies 99% of the time send the money before the vets. One, because they don't know, so they send it before 10 a.m. Or two, they don't want to get left out, so they're on the clock. Vets don't. Vets are like, don't put me in. They won't leave me out until it happens. You know, like they're like, oh, bro, they can't leave me out. I'm good at flag. Like DD doesn't care about you being good. Like it's a tier system. Like you're gonna. So Andres is like, bro, I don't care if he's your friend. I don't know who the hell this guy Philip Widowido is. He's coming in, and he's gonna play. And I'm the opposite. And I understand. You know, I understand his point. Is like, you know, that's how we build the league. That's how you build. You know, our foundation of like growing. You know, our basically our
The brand.
yeah, the brand, and the more people, the better.
Mhm.
I hate the loyal ones, right? Like you imagine someone that's been playing for 5, 6 straight seasons and makes a mistake. One mistake costs you 4 months out of being out of DD
Mhm.
because you paid 3 minutes late. That I like having some seniority.
so let me ask you this, kind of going back to the topic of like the potential adding a player or whatnot. Have you guys floated around the idea of maybe doing tournament rules where maybe we have a 7-man roster and you're forced to rotate 2 players per drive?
I think we have. I don't know what the outcome was. Andres, come in here.
Yeah, we
Are we
have.
talking
It
for a
just
season?
we have
Yes.
done. We have talked about it, but it's
That's
just at the end of the day, we just decided not to do it. But we have talked about it because again,
Oh, I know. One big problem was the stats.
That's stats. I was
stats.
gonna
These
say
guys,
the
Records are gonna
stats.
be
no, they take
No,
already
it's gonna
6
be
to
more
7
work.
hours.
It's gonna be more work for everybody, but
Yeah.
ultimately for Andres. But yeah,
no, but also like stat holders, right? Like now it's a
that's what
Yeah.
I'm
different
saying. Yeah,
system, a different.
refereeing's gonna be more
Everything becomes harder.
difficult.
More
Yeah,
people
yeah,
harder.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay. Now, is there something that you guys want to announce? Something you guys foresee for the league? Something that and it could, something that we can maybe little golden nugget here, something we could
Guillotine.
Oof. Oh my God. Listen, let me bring this up.
Guillotine?
All right. I'm gonna bring you guys in on a little fantasy world that could maybe work in DD, maybe not. Maybe we lower the entry fee for this crazy idea. But there's a guillotine fantasy league, which is I rearranged my whole fantasy world into this guillotine league. That's all I do now. And this guillotine basically is 18 teams, and every week the lowest scoring team or the worst team of that week gets booted from the league. Like out. Like you're in the chat, you're in everything, but you're not allowed to win anymore. Like you're out. That could be something we could try. You know, like a 20-team season, and by week 2 or after week 1, the 4 bottom teams get kicked out. And that's something in like fantasy football. It's a hit. Like
Yeah.
it's insane. The stress, you
it's
can't
a
be
massive rush of anxiety.
Oh my God. You imagine signing up to DD and after week 1, you're out for the next 5 months? That's it.
But you're in the
No one
chat.
misses a week. No one misses
I was
a week.
thinking
Yeah, you
more of
can't
a
even play.
tournament.
I was gonna say I feel like that would probably do well in a tournament setting.
I like the
And-
league setting. Tournament
and-
setting, you're done for the day regardless. Whether you win or not, that day everything ends. League-wise, you commit
That's
yourself to a
crazy.
3-month season, and after week 1, your season might be done. That's pretty crazy. That's a crazy idea. But no, Angel, I think something to look forward to is
That's draconian. That's draconian.
Hall of Fame second class comes in after this season. And that's big, bro, because some
Were you
new
guys
names
happy
come
with
in.
the first class? Were you guys happy with the first class? I know this show is very critical with the way you guys handled the first class. Were you guys happy with the first class?
I was. I mean, the one that I voted got in. I think it came down. The last vote really came down to you and Kevin, and it was close.
And I was, yeah, Kevin deserved it more.
And to me, Kevin's MVP is what put him over you.
Absolutely.
So, but it was close. It was close. Some people voted you over Kevin. And I think deservedly, without any of the other 4, you guys would be playing red zone. Like TD's not where it is today, so it's a no-brainer. Apart from that, they all have their stats. Andy's multiple 2-time tournament winner, 2-time star winner, has destroyed his tier every time he's been drafted. CP has 2 stars,
Mm-hmm.
Two stars. Biggest is like season before Christ, BC. Like, and what he does for the league. Andres really doesn't do much, but you know he's one of the owners, so that's why we had to put him in there. Like, and then obviously you don't have to say much about David. He's our GOAT, and Kevin. Kevin was that other guy. Could we had done 5 instead of 6, maybe? I'm not sure why we decided on 6, but Kevin was that 6th man. Like he deserved it, and I think that class is the right class.
Now, can you guys explain to the whole league, for those that are not that immersed, how does the Hall of Fame work? How is this next class going to work? How do they get decided, and what are the impacts?
Mr. Illuminati, you want to unmute yourself? And I honestly don't even know.
How does the next class get picked?
The next class is whoever's in the Hall of Fame already. What they're gonna do is everybody's gonna nominate their. I think we have 4 guys, I think, that didn't make it from the first one. So it'll be 4 guys who will all have to vote for 6 new ones. So it'll be 10 nominees, and then 4 will get in from that, and then we'll.
Oh,
vote.
there you go. Something I didn't know.
$150 application fee.
So if you're a
It's too
nominee,
much.
listen to this, guys. If you're a nominee, you're a secured ballot for the following year.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
So the 4
That's-
that didn't make it last season, you're automatically into this season, to this ballot. It's just there'll be 6 new guys coming into the.
So out of 10, we have to vote out of 10? 4?
Yeah, 4.
Oof, that's a tough vote.
Andres, you tell them about the $150 application fee to.
But I do think we need to get better stuff for the Hall of Fame. I know that Joan was being kind of cheap and only give him flags and the little patch.
Hey,
but
if you guys need a sponsor, I know one.
I think we need to do better for the Hall of Fame class. I don't know, some
Well,
jackets.
the Hall of
or
Fame class is
something.
only going to grow, so it's not something that's going to go away. So I feel like they got flags year 1, but now year 2, they're going to get something with the new class. And then year 3, then year 4. So they'll eventually have a whole closet full of DD.
We get like something like this where it says Hall of Famer on it.
Hey, the budget's endless according to CP. So
Let me run some numbers real quick.
All right, gentlemen. I want to thank you guys.
Angel, drop some names here. Have Andres drop some names. Who do we think is in the Hall of Fame? The nominees?
I didn't want the show to be more of a bias, but hey, Andres.
Fuck that.
Wait,
sorry.
before we
votes,
do
what
that,
the fuck?
before we do that, let me ask you this. Let me ask Andres. So if it's gonna be 10 total people, and you guys are gonna vote 4 in, does that mean, like Joan said, those other 6 are automatically in the ballot for next year? Whatever you feel like it.
The 6 that didn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will automatically be in the ballot for next season.
So then next season, would it be
4.
10 nominees? For 10
Yeah,
persons?
it's always going to be 10 nominees.
So then the 4 that have the majority vote from all the Hall of Fame members. Yeah, because eventually you're going to start diluting it, because there's going to be more Hall of Fame members, and then it's going to be percentage.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
eventually we're going to get like baseball. That's going to need like 59.4% to like get over. You know,
I mean, the guys that I'm name dropping for sure. I at least my guys that I'll probably put in is probably somebody like Nico. He's never some guy. He's the only one. Him and Joan are the only ones that won 2 MVPs. So that's very hard to do, to get an MVP. So he'll be one of them. Obviously.
I'm not putting in Nico this class, and I've told him.
Watching TV.
I would put Nico in this class. 2 MVPs is crazy. It's
Absolutely
one out of how many people you have in the league.
You should
That's
be a Hall of
incredible.
Famer. You should be a Hall of Famer alone on that 49ers team that we won the star.
only because this is which is not a criticism. It's me telling Nico, you're gonna be playing DD for a while. He's probably the only one there that's in his prime, out of like the tier 1s that are like MVP contenders. You know, like the Piggy's always gonna be an MVP contender out of his prime. Like Nico's gonna have so many opportunities to win stars, to win tournaments, to win MVPs. Like I don't think he should come in with 1 star. I mean, unless he wins the season, right? You win the season, you come in with 2 stars, you have 2 MVPs, has 1 record. I think then he would have my vote.
Yeah, at that
but
point,
Nico needs more. Nico needs more
everything.
stuff. I mean, it's super impressive. Obviously, he could be
Bro,
MVP every season.
this guy has records, and he has 2 MVPs.
1 record. 1 record. Speak. 1 record.
Okay, 1 record, which is a
2
pretty big record.
MVPs and a star, which is bro, it's insane, right?
Is Andres
But he can do
standing
better.
or is he
He
on
can
his
get more.
knees right now? Like what?
No, it's because Andres thinks that Nico thinks Andres hates him, so he's got to defend him.
Yeah.
And that championship that he won came out of nowhere. Nobody gave us a shot.
Look, you guys were 1 drive from losing both rounds.
We never talked about we never talked about them.
That team is probably the least talented team that's ever won a star. Probably
It was like what you Kudo.
The problem was the bottom
Ernie,
tiers.
You guys,
your
kept
bottom
running the
tiers
same. It was
were way better than other teams' bottom tiers. Like you guys didn't have top tier talent. like in the tier 1, 2, 3, 4. But bro, you were being covered by tier 6s that you were destroying everyone.
Andy
Exactly.
won with
And
Andy won with
ultimately, you
Piki
had
and with
Nico.
Nico. Andy
Yeah.
won with Piki and Nico.
Yeah.
No, but to
I would
Andy's
say,
point, that team, Vinny was driving to beat them. Devin drove like 8 drives to beat them and couldn't. Like that team could have lost in the first round and they won a star. So that's impressive.
But
To me,
would
the best
say-
team is David's run where he beat me, he beat Piki, he beat Tronky.
I was gonna
With the
say that
Colts.
team.
Hey, he had a guy
Angel
that
and
had 2
David Starr,
touchdowns in that
to me is
final.
That
Hey,
team was
listen.
another team that was undermanned. It was Mikey, no?
Yo,
No, it was
Piki
No, they
had,
had a
Mikey.
good team.
listen,
That
Piki had
that
Jason
trade was
Castellanos
insane.
covering me. Piki
They
had
went from
Jason
Freddie
Castellanos
Sabino to
covering
Mikey
me.
Sabina. Like
I'm
that
dying
trade
on
was
that hill.
crazy.
I'm dying on that
Imagine,
hill.
okay, when I
Flaco took
played
a
that
touchdown
team
away
in
from me.
the regular season, I beat David twice,
Yeah.
and I beat them 4-0.
Yeah.
Then they traded, and they beat me in the playoffs. Like that, going from like Kevin G to Angel, you can say okay, that's close. But Freddie Sabino to Mikey Sabina, a 40-something ranked player to a top 15 at the time, was a crazy trade. That made that team very good. I knew there were going to be a problem in the playoffs, but no one knew they were going to do what they did. Like,
Yeah.
that was an awesome run.
And we beat a Tronky and Luigi
And I would
in
put
the
Andy
final.
and Nico's team second, right behind them on impressive playoff runs. The only reason why I put them second is because Nico beat Vinny and Devin, right? He beat me. That's up there. But beating Devin and Vinny is not really like
Well, I mean, we were on the ropes in that game, man.
both. I know, in both.
John, you
Yeah,
lost,
both of those games we were on the ropes. I don't
John, you
even-
lost like 2
I
games
still
that
don't know.
season.
Listen, I've won a lot of
Exactly.
championships in flag, and that's been the one that I still don't believe that we won that one.
Yeah.
Like I
You
didn't
lost,
think we had a
you
shot.
lost like 2 games that season. Like you weren't losing. You like tied and lost the game. Like
Yeah.
that was it was not expected for you guys to lose.
No, they played the perfect game in that championship. Like, I don't think Nico threw an incompletion. I don't think they had a bad
He
play.
was also he was shirtless too. He was
Yeah.
shirtless.
Well, shirtless. That's true.
Yeah, we know when Nico's shirtless, he's
All right, I'm putting Ernie in. I'm just throwing some names. I think Ernie should be in that ballot.
yeah, Ernie definitely.
Perra, were you in the ballot last season?
No.
You're in the ballot. You're in my ballot this season. Or Enzo, that's another low key that people are like, oh, bro, I'm not. I don't care about my friends. I don't know if anyone knows.
Captain Slayer.
Enzo has won 2 tournaments as a captain. That is the hardest thing to do. Win a star as a captain is the hardest thing to do. The second thing to do is he's won 3 tournaments.
Really?
He has
As a
2
captain?
stars.
As a
Yeah,
captain?
basketball. Both basketball as a
Basketball, yeah.
captain,
I
1
forgot about the basketball.
ranked 1. So he's got 3 tournament wins and 2 stars. And 2 out of those 3 championship tournament wins were
2
as a captain.
stars? Is that? Are you counting the star that he got with me with the Chargers?
Of course. I mean, that's Piggy's star. If you're counting Piggy as a star, that's his star too. That's
Yeah.
um
So listen to the captains out there. Let me be your first. I was Pinky's first.
Nico's first. Nico's first too.
So listen, I'm available, but you got to be a winner. If you're not a winner, do not call.
And they'll call you if it's a tier 4 or 5, right? It's got to be a 6.
You got to be a 6, yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right, guys. I want to thank you for coming on, for giving us all the insight, for all the content. A lot of the questions that people ask are the ones that we ask you, and you guys give us the right insight. How are you guys feeling about this final week? Who are your biggest winners this season? Who do you think is going to win the MVP? Who do you think is going to take the star going into week 5?
I'll take the MVP talk.
I'll tell
I'm
you.
a little disappointed.
I'll tell you MVP. MVP. We have 4 finalists. We have Dario, we have Piki, we have Kakudo, and we have Tronky. Those are our 4 finalists.
My same 4 going into week 5. Only thing I'm disappointed is that there's not a player that you could be like, yo, this guy's in the leaderboard on both sides of the ball, except Cascudo, Georgie, which then he's been struggling. The team's been struggling, right?
But Peanut's been taking a lot from Kakudo.
And I feel like we were talking about. I feel like that's that Kobe and Shaq year where
Steve Nash won.
And I think Georgie doesn't have enough touchdowns, in my opinion, as a receiver. He only has 15 touchdowns. An MVP as a receiver, you gotta have 23 to 25.
But then as a quarterback, are we only saying that MVP is an offensive award then this season? Because Tronky has 0 defensive stats. Piki has like single-digit flag pulls, and I think maybe 1 or 2 picks.
Like 2 picks. So the ballot or the case that was there to be made for Tronky is that if he does go 4-0, he's gonna go 10-0 as the captain of that team. That is MVP. Because we're
that's what I'm saying. This season, the MVP is different. Other seasons has been like, oh no, if they don't have defensive stats, they don't even deserve to be a nominee. This season's different because no one dominated both sides of the ball.
Correct.
So
But
So
remember,
I think
because you also
I'm
had a QB draft, because you had a QB draft, so a lot of guys got put into very favorable positions. Like, and this is what makes DD great. Like, you have a Dario who perennially gets trashed on, now is MVP talk being put around a surrounding cast that could like exploit like what he could do. So, that's why we also can't look at this based on other seasons. Like, you can't compare this season against another Peaky season, because there have been seasons where Peaky has been great on both sides of the ball, as where here he's have to been carrying more of the offensive side.
Yeah, all right. So my take is I'm not a betting man, even though I've made $7,500, and I've been telling everyone in the last 3 weeks with
I don't have
Brokey Betters
IG. I
Club
don't have IG. I
and
don't have
MF
IG.
Picks.
Just
I
tell me
have
where to
I've
send the
sent
money.
I've
Just
sent
tell me where
every
to
single
send the
bet in
money
my
and send me the
chat.
picks.
Andres have seen his CP seen. I've sent Andy some.
Tell
I've
me
made
where to send the money.
$7,500 from $250 that I submitted that I deposited 2 weeks ago in a UM game with Andy. I'm up 7,500. I will tell you, it is Peaky's to lose. He's got the best team, and he's cruising,
Oof.
right?
I
So
think I
Okay.
think there's only one scenario where Picky loses. If Tronky goes 4-0, there's a big enough case, in my opinion, to be made for him being traded away, being dumped, and he goes 10-0 after that
okay,
trade.
and this is the argument. If Peaky goes 4-0, you can argue Tronky got traded to a better team. Now his team is way better than what he had before.
Because everyone
So-
did agree. Everyone did agree that he got traded to a better team.
Exactly. So, but I agree, and that wasn't his choice, right? He was pissed that he got traded, but he got traded to a way better team, and then he got upgraded, which is a good GM move to get Brian for Flacco, right? And his offense better. So his team's loaded. But how do you take away from Peaky not being traded and being the GM all weeks and drafting the team and making the trades, and then also going 4-0 and having a better record than Tronky and better stats? That's why I think it's his to lose. But if Peaky can do a Peaky. Tronky goes 4-0 and Peaky does a Peaky, and they go 2-2, 3-1. Tronky gets it.
All right, so
Yeah.
John's got Peaky. Andres, who do you got?
I agree. I think it's Picky's to lose, but again, I agree with Pedra. If Tronky goes 4-0 and he has one of those bye weeks, I'll give it to Tronky just on that, because I mean I know that you said that he got into a better team, but Picky's team is stacked. That team is ridiculously stacked.
He built
It's
that.
really,
Though.
really good.
Can't.
No, I'm
CP?
not knocking him on that. I'm not knocking him on it. I just think what Tronky did is way more impressive than what Peaky has done. I mean, obviously it's the LeBron effect, it's the Shaq effect. This is what we expect, great things from Peaky. So when he does it, it's like, whatever. He's done it before. Tronky, I mean, obviously Tronky is great, but we haven't really seen this from Tronky without having Lulu. This is like legit. Like if he goes 4-0 and is 10-0 to end the season and get a bye with that team, even though he has no defensive stats, I think you have to give it to Tronky. Dario's another one. I just feel like Dario, Dario is another one that you easily could win it. I mean, it depends on the last week. It's very up and it's tight. It's up there. But my pick is again Pique to lose. I don't see Tronky going 4-0, but if he does go 4-0, I would really change my mind. I'll probably vote Tronky if he goes 4-0.
CP?
Bro, I said it earlier, and when all these trades went down, and when Peaky made all these moves, and then I have Kevin side texting me for validation and all this, and then bro, the best GM performance I've seen in a while, bro. That team and how he got that team and how he built that team, I'm very impressed. I think it's Peaky's to lose. I don't think Tronky goes 4-0 because he plays us and he's gonna have to cover me. If David just throws me the ball and I catch it, then it's GG's. So you could just eliminate that part. Dario, I think the Chargers actually suck. I don't really think they're that good. I don't think no one's really I don't think no one's afraid of them, you
Be
know?
careful, bro. Be careful.
And yeah, I just think his Peaky's lose. Now, is Peaky known for choking? Yeah, he does it all the time. So if he does,
hey.
if he does choke, if he does choke,
No,
are we
last
gonna be
time was
surprised?
against Al, and he was saying the whole thing with the folding the lawn chair.
But yeah, it's Peaky's lose. Hey, and look,
Andy.
Pedra, be careful for what? This is what I do every year.
So
There's nothing new, bro.
I'm not up to date with what's going on in the league. Truth be known, I've been doing a lot, but in what world is Dario in a top 3 race for MVP?
It's crazy.
Hey,
Well, first
Andy,
of all,
league.
who the
Like,
hell is
you take
Dario
a
got
season
Andy
off,
over.
bro.
Who's
Hey, the
Dario?
league,
You
the
take a
league.
season off, bro, and mira lo que pasa,
This
bro.
Hey,
is what
listen,
happens. Like,
this
I
is
walk
like
away and this guy's in a top 3 race.
you're
Well,
Matthew
who's
McConaughey
Dario,
in
bro?
Interstellar. You're
Loki
Matthew.
At
and
least
me.
name
Like,
the
what are we
kid
talking
right.
about?
His name is Dario, bro, not Dario.
Yeah,
You're
who's Dario?
Who's Dario, bro?
you're Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar, just looking out the window like, oh
But
wow.
let me ask you, to you three that are a little bit more involved this season, is it true GMing by Peaky? Because
And you're gonna
let's
hurt. You're
let's
gonna hurt his MVP case
let
by
but
saying
let's
what you're
call
about
it
to
what
say.
let's call it what it is. He got I'm not gonna say he got saved. That's too much. But he got gifted Peña and Robinson
He's got
by
Payne
Ace
and Robinson
Yeah, he got Peña and
and
Robinson.
Kevin
No, and
Nunez.
Kevin. And Kevin.
and Kevin.
But he drafted Kevin. He traded for
Who's
Peña
his
and
bottom
Robinson
tiers?
with
Who
Vic.
are his
He
bottom tiers?
traded Vic Peña and Brian
Jonathan
Baez.
Novalo, which is good. He's not the big
That was
guy.
a steal.
Jonathan
Jonathan.
Novoa.
That was a great draft pick.
Yeah, but Andy, he
Granted, he
traded
fell
Vic
because he was
Peña.
missing 2
He
weeks.
Yeah,
traded
yeah.
Vic Peña for Brandon Peña and
Which is
Brian Baez for
Robinson.
Robinson.
yeah.
Oh, God.
By the
Great
way, the
move.
other captain that
It was
agreed to that
captain
was
to
Ace.
It was captain to captain, bro.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
The
do it.
only thing I say would hurt Piggy's case in that whole transitions of the transactions of GMing is when he made Kevin captain, right? Like he took himself back and he was like,
I just
the
think
team
I
voted.
just think that Piggy
No,
wanted to
but you
veto
know
that
that was
weekend.
fake. That was
What?
fake.
Like
That
I know
was
it was
fake.
fake, but he did it. Like at that point, you're like, oh, all right, something's trying to, Piggy's trying to make moves, but he doesn't want Peña to get mad at him if Peña gets traded. Oh, it was Kevin. Kevin was the captain.
I have a question. Does Stronky accept the trophy from the shittiest league that he's ever played in?
Of course he is. He's gonna bring that
Bro,
thing.
the guy's
thing.
stud of the week.
Yo,
That's
cuenta.
probably his screenshot right
He's
now.
taking her to Disney,
His
bro.
screenshot right now is
Cuenta,
his stud of the week. I'm happy for him.
Let me tell you, you got Dario,
Castle.
you got, and I know we gotta go, but you got Dario, you got Piki, you got Tronky. This thing's gonna get taken to Biscayne Boulevard.
Ancaculo.
Yo, does his dad, does Cascudo's dad come out and do the presentation?
He's there with him. You know,
He takes the picture at
like
playoffs with the award?
Kevin Durant talked about his mom when he got his trophy.
Yeah,
He's gonna be talking about his dad, Team USA.
Maybe.
DD's on the come up, guys. Let me know when you guys are selling stock. Hey, thank you guys for coming. I know that everyone has a busy schedule, especially you, Andy. Jesus, man. I hope you come back. Hope you come back next season. Not just a tournament. We want you full time.
I miss you guys. I miss this. I miss the league. I miss my guys.
The league is better when you're there.
Yeah.
But we really do appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for coming on. It also gave some insight. A lot of the questions we ask are a lot of the questions that we
John,
get
hurry up.
from everyone.
Yo, shout out to my little boo-boos, Andres, Aaron, and Pablito. Couldn't have done it without them.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming on. All right, appreciate y'all.
All right, boys.
I just can't. What an episode. Hey,
man.
I feel like that's a way to close out last regular season episode. Want to thank the owners for coming on. Want to thank Dario for coming on, or Dario, or I don't know how Andy was pronouncing it. That's horrific. Listen, week 5, there's a lot to play for. Go out there. There's some tiers to be won, an MVP to be won, and a star to be earned. Hope you guys have a great week. Play your hearts out. As always, DD is life, and we love you guys. Peace.
Love you, boys. Week 5.
Oh, yeah!
It should have been an easy win, but you know, I play a little shiesty, and it cost me.